It's snowing! Can't believe we've actually got snow. It never snows here. Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be filming another Christmas video for you, and this is actually going to be my last Christmas video on my channel for this year. I did want to film more Christmas videos. I had so many different ideas, but because I did weekly vlogs for the whole month of November while I was doing NaNoWriMo, I didn't get the chance to post any. So I will save those ideas for next year, and hopefully in 2018 we will have more Christmas videos on this channel. But today, even though it is quite close to Christmas and most people have probably already sorted their presents, just in case you are looking for a last minute gift and you wanted a book, I'm going to be doing a Christmas book gift guide. Hopefully there will be something in this video for everyone. I've broken everything down into sections. I've got YA, I've got classics, I've got new adult, I've got women's fiction, I've got colouring books. There's a little bit of everything. So enough of me waffling on, let's get started with my book suggestions. The first book I want to suggest is this edition of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. This was for the 20th anniversary, and you can buy these in paperback and in hardback. I love the hardback because I love the coloured pages. But you can buy these for all four houses. If you don't know the house of the person you are buying the book for, then I would say keep it safe and go for Gryffindor, because that's the house that Harry Potter's in. But I just love this book, and I think that even if you've read this book, that people would still like this as a gift because it's one of the special edition ones. Also, I don't own them, but you can now buy the first 3 books in illustrated editions as well. I will leave links for all of the books that I'm talking about in the description box so you can go and check them out. Next, I'm going to talk to you about classic books, and these are all really beautiful editions of classics as well. I think out of the books that I'm about to show you, only one of these was actually bought by myself. The rest of them were gifts, and they're some of the best books I've ever been bought. So this one was a gift for my mum, and this is The Secret Garden. It's an absolutely beautiful edition of this story. It has gold pages, which I absolutely love. The back is just as beautiful as the front, and it's just a really lovely classic children's story, so I think that this is one that everyone would love to own. This was another one that was bought for me by my mum, and this was just before my wedding because our wedding had a slight Cinderella theme. But there are some beautiful illustrations in this book, and I will just show you the most iconic one, and that is when Cinderella is given her beautiful dress and her glass slippers by the fairy godmother. Hopefully you can see that picture and there's not a glare from the light behind my camera. Then I have these Puffin in Bloom editions of these 4 stories, and I absolutely love the covers of these books. I'll show you each one individually. So first we have Little Women, A Little Princess, Anne of Green Gables, and Heidi. I just love these editions. They look so amazing on a bookshelf, and even if you don't buy all 4 books and you just buy one, they're still a great gift. The final classic I have to show you is the one that I bought myself earlier this year, and I haven't actually read this yet, but this is Pride and Prejudice. This is another book with beautiful illustrations inside, and also right in the very middle of the book there is actually a pull-out illustration as well, which I think is a really nice touch. Not many books have this. Next I have a few YA books that I want to recommend. These could be really great books for anyone who hasn't read YA yet, or anyone that wants to try and get into YA books. I feel like I might show some of you these books and you'll be like, oh, everyone's read that book if you read YA, but I still think they're great to suggest, because if someone hasn't read any YA books yet, I think these ones are a really good place to start. First up is Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon. This one has just been made into a film as well, so you could always buy the film and the book and then the person can compare them. But I read this book all in one evening. I think I read it in like less than 4 hours. It's quite a quick book to read, but I just think it's a really good story. It's really unique. I've not read anything like it before, and I would definitely suggest it. Then we have one that probably everyone who has read YA has already read, and that is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. Again, this is another one that has been made into a film, so you could always buy both so that they can compare them, but I do recommend the book over the film. I love the film, but I always say read the book first anyway, and the book is always better. Like I said, most people already know this book, and if you've read YA then you probably have read this one already, but I really do suggest this one as a gift if you want to get someone started on YA books. Then I have The Start of Me and You by Emery Lord, and this isn't just one of my favourite YA books, this is one of my favourite books overall of all time. I just really love the story of this book. I love Emery's writing as well, and I just love the characters. The characters are brilliant in this book. Some of the books I'm showing you in this video are the Zoella Book Club editions, which you can only buy from WH Smith, and I know not all of them are available to buy now, so if you can buy these editions then I will leave a link for you. If not, then I will leave a link to the normal cover. Then I have another book that's not only one of my favourite YA books, but it's one of my favourite books of all time now, and that is Letters to the Lost. I just think this is an incredible story about 2 amazing characters. I absolutely loved the characters in this book. I also love the way that the story is told. It goes back and forth between the two characters, so you get to see both points of view and how they are connected. I think if I had to suggest just one YA book out of the 5 that I'm going to show you now, then I would definitely suggest this one. Then I have Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I just love that the main character in this book, Kath, writes fan fiction. I think that's an absolutely brilliant touch, and I would definitely class myself as a fangirl for certain things, so I really related to Kath in that sense. I also love that this book included twins. I don't feel like there's many books out there that deal with twins. This is just a really great book, and I would definitely recommend it to someone who reads YA. I also just have a few more books that I want to show you that are technically classed as YA, but I would sort of class them as new adult because I feel like you might need to be a little bit older to appreciate these ones. Here I have Hold Back the Stars by Katie Khan, and if the cover isn't enough to make you want to buy this book, which it should be, then the story is absolutely incredible. I have done a full book review for this video, so I'll link that in the description box as well, so you can find out a little bit more about this. But I highly recommend this book. It is set in space and the two characters only have 90 minutes of oxygen left. I just love the plot, the characters and the pacing of the story and the way that it is told. It's just a brilliant book. And if you thought that you might get through this video without me suggesting my favourite book series by one of my favourite authors, then you were wrong. I love A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J Maas. I've also done a video where I have reviewed all 3 of these books, so I'll link that in the description box as well so you can find out more. But I absolutely love these books. Although they are classed as young adult, I would class these as new adult because I do think you need to be a little bit older to appreciate the writing, and also there's some material in here that's probably not suitable for the younger end of young adult. But you have A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is the first book in the series, A Court of Mist and Fury, which is book 2, and this is my favourite one out of all 3, and the third book is A Court of Wings and Ruin. I highly recommend these. Even if you are an adult, you can still read YA. These are brilliant, especially if you are intrigued by fantasy books, and if you're not sure if someone is going to like them and you want to buy it as a gift, then just buy the first one and see how they go from there. Now I'm going to go on to women's fiction. I'm going to start by showing you another series, and these books were also shown in last week's video, and these books are by Sarah Morgan. So these books focus on a group of 3 friends, and each book focuses on a different girl. First you have Sleepless in Manhattan, which focuses on a girl called Paige. Then you have book 2, which is Sunset in Central Park, and this focuses on garden designer Frankie. And then we have my favourite out of all 3 books, which is a Christmas themed one, and this is Miracle on 5th Avenue. If you want to find out a little bit more about these books, and especially this one, then go and watch last week's video. I'll link it in the description box for you. I just really enjoyed reading these books, and I loved the characters. The girls are brilliant, and also the setting is a bonus because I love books that are set in New York. Next is a book by my favourite author, and this is her first book, and that is P.S. I Love You. This is my paperback edition, and then this one is my new special edition that my husband bought me for our wedding anniversary. Cecilia Ahern is my favourite author. This probably isn't my favourite book by her anymore. I do love some of her other ones, but this is her first book, so I think this is a great place to start if you're going to buy one, and it's also her most iconic. Then we have books by Giovanna Fletcher, and Billy and Me is my favourite book by her. Always with Love follows on from Billy and Me, so you do need to read this one first, but they're quite nice to buy together. This is just a great romance story between a small village girl and a big star actor. These books are just the perfect escape. I just loved them, and I definitely want to reread these at some point. Then we have The One We Fell in Love With by Paige Toon, and this book is about triplets. So after mentioning twins earlier on when I was talking about Fangirl, this one is about triplets. I loved this book so much after I read it that I've actually bought it for 2 different people since then as gifts, and both of them have told me how much they loved it. The outline of the story is the triplets, Phoebe, Eliza and Rose, all fall in love with the same guy. There is a huge plot twist in this story, which I'm obviously not going to discuss now, but it is absolutely incredible. The writing is amazing, and I just cannot recommend this one enough. The final women's fiction book that I want to suggest to you is Wild Like Me by Louise Penland. I absolutely loved this story. I've also done a review, so I'll leave that in the description box as well. But there are so many hilarious moments in this book. You can really tell that Louise wrote this because she's so hilarious anyway, but there are so many funny moments in this book. I literally laughed until I cried reading this at some points. I also want to just quickly mention audiobooks. If you know someone that travels a lot or goes into London a lot for work or anything like that, then they may not want to carry a book around with them, but they may want an audiobook. Most of the audiobooks that I listen to are actually YA. I'm normally listening to Casey West or Sarah J Maas. I did the whole Throne of Glass series pretty much by listening to audiobook. So you could create a subscription for Audible for someone, or you could just download a single audiobook. So if you know someone that would benefit from an audiobook rather than a paperback or a hardback book that they would have to lug around with them if they like to take a book out with them, then I would definitely suggest audiobooks. Okay, we're almost there. I feel like this has been a really long video. Next we have books that people can write in, and the first one I want to show you is the Q&A a Day book, which I absolutely love. I think this one was a gift from my mum last Christmas, and then I started it in the new year. So for example, on January the 1st I wrote in 2017, and then the question was, what is your mission? And I said, to be happy and enjoy myself, read lots and keep writing. So when it gets to the 1st of January again in 2018, I will put 18 on this one, and then I will write a new answer, and then it's fun to see in 5 years' time exactly what answers you put and how things have changed. This one was another gift from my mum, and this is a literary listography, and this is just a list of all the books you've read broken down into different sections. Okay, so for example, this one here says, my favourite films adapted from books. So I've written The Book Thief, The Fault in Our Stars, The Light Between Oceans, and Swallows and Amazons. I do need to update that because there's quite a few books that have been made into films recently, such as Wonder and Everything that I've really enjoyed, so I do need to update this. Here we go, here's another one for you, which again I do need to update. But books that made me cry, so I've got The Fault in Our Stars, The Boy in Striped Pyjamas, The Book Thief, The Lovely Bones, All the Right Places, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Wings and Ruin, and It Ends With Us. So this could be a really fun gift for someone who reads a lot and wants to keep track of the things they've read. The final book in this section that I want to show you is another one that was bought for me by my mum, and this is 642 Things to Write About. I haven't actually written in this yet because I'm sort of scared to, because I don't want to ruin it. I feel like I want to photocopy all the pages first just in case. So basically this book has a load of writing prompts, and you literally just read the top bit and then either carry it on, or it'll be asking you a question, it'll ask you to think about something. So for example, this one says, begin a letter. I am telling you this story because you are the only person who will not judge me. And then you have to carry the letter on. Write a Dear John letter breaking up with your high school sweetheart who's in the army. What was the most recent incident in your life that made you laugh? Describe your best friend. Write from the point of view of a literary character who changed your life. The orchestra on the Titanic famously kept playing as the ship went down. Describe the sinking of the Titanic from the point of view of the musicians playing in the ballroom, from their interactions to the sights, sounds and sensations they experience as the ship sinks. Tell the story of a time you lost an argument. Write a love letter to a person you dislike. Describe a person you've never met. So there are a load of really interesting and different writing prompts in here, and this is a lot of fun for anyone who enjoys writing. The final stack of books that I have here that I want to show you are colouring books. I have 4. 2 of them are Christmas themed, so if you want to buy someone a Christmas colouring book. I have the Nutcracker here, and I've only actually done 1 page in here and I haven't completely finished it yet. So that's the page that I've already started. I only got this colouring book last week, which is why I haven't done very much of this one yet. I also have Joanna's Christmas, which I had last year, and I took this one to New York with me, and I did some colouring on the plane and at the airport when we were waiting to fly home. So this is one that I haven't actually finished, of a gingerbread house. Here's a double page one that I have actually finished. But the artwork in here is absolutely lovely. I actually have a couple of books by Joanna, but these are lovely illustrations, and they're just so much fun to colour. Some of them are a bit more detailed than others, and then some of them are a bit more simplistic, so there's a really nice mix. The final 2 colouring books that I have to show you are book themed, and the first one is the Selection Series colouring book. I love this book because not only does it have pictures, it has quotes as well to colour in, which I really think helps to break it up, because then you've got some more simplistic ones to do, as well as the more complicated ones that are a full picture. Also, I started this one at the beginning and wanted to work my way through each of the stories, so I'm on book 2 at the moment, and this is the picture that I'm currently on. And finally, I have the colouring book that goes with the Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J Maas. Again, this is another one that I wanted to do in order, so I've been working my way through this one. I'm still on the first book. There is a lot of pictures for each story. This one took me absolutely ages, but I was really proud of it when I'd finished it. I've just had so much fun with this colouring book because it's one of my favourite book series, and the characters in the book are exactly how I pictured them when I was reading it as well, and I love that there is a book quote on the other side of the page as well. So those were all of the books that I wanted to show you. There was just 2 things I wanted to mention as well as actually buying books. My first suggestion is subscription boxes, and there are so many amazing book subscription boxes out there. I will leave a list of some of my favourites in the description box below, but they make such good gifts because some companies will allow you to just buy a one-off box, but you can also sign up and do a 3, 6 or 12 month subscription with them as well. And my final suggestion for if you've left it too late to buy a book, or you don't know which book to buy them, or there's someone that has so many books and you don't want to end up buying them something they already have, then give them a gift card. Places that I like to receive gift cards for and that I would recommend purchasing are WH Smith, Foyles and Waterstones. So those were all of my book suggestions for this Christmas gift guide. I hope there is something in there that has been useful to at least one person. Even if you're not planning on buying a book for someone as a gift, this could also work as a recommendation guide for you. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and all that's left for me to say is to wish you a very Merry Christmas, because my next video will be out after Christmas, which will be my final video of 2017. I can't believe this year is almost over, but have a lovely Christmas and I will see you again soon. Bye!